Hello everybody, my name's Dave, thanks for joining me, and today we're going to talk about winching equipment, what is good and what is okay. I was going to do a winching video. I was going to do a video about winching on your own. I can't do that because I can't do it on my own. You should never winch on your own, and I need a safety person. I haven't got a safety person yet. My car isn't running, so we can't go anywhere to do it. Today I thought I'll do something about winching equipment, and I've got quite a bit of it, so let's talk about that. Most of my equipment is Hercules stuff, which is King's. A lot of my straps are things like that. But I've also got some George 4x4 stuff and some road safe 4x4 stuff. So what are they all used for? So there's some basic pieces of equipment, some more advanced than others. I'm going to just shift that out of the way and I'll get this. So this is a tree trunk protector. I've got two of those. I've got another one here. This is a Hercules one. This one is an aftermarket one. It's a 10,000 kilogram tree trunk protector, but I can't tell you who it's from. I think it's another George piece of equipment, that one. And this is a Hercules one, and this one is 10,000 kilograms too. So I have two of those, and I'll explain why I have two of those in a second. The next thing is a winch extension strap. Now that's a 10-meter winch extension strap. That's safe to 4,500 kilograms. And then after that, you've got what's called a snatch strap. Now that's a snatch strap. It's never been used in anger. It's never been used at all, actually. They have a life of about 10 pulls. So what we got after that? We've got bow shackles, D shackles, and soft shackles. These are road safe soft shackles, which I bought aftermarket. They come in a little bag. They've got a safety thing on them. They're good for 9,000 kilograms. Now, bow shackles or D shackles. This one is a 19mm with a safe working load of 4.7 ton. The other one's slightly less. And what else have we got? A donut ring. Right, okay, so this is a donut ring in this George bag. I'll show you that in a minute when we go through them. Snatch block. Okay, so here's my other bow shackle, and this is a snatch block. As you can see, what happens is, if we take this, I'll show you this in a bit more detail in a minute, but basically if we take the bow shackle off, this is a snatch block here, weighs about 5 kilograms, splits apart so you can get the rope through it. The rope goes around this pulley, and then that goes together and attaches it, and then the rope's here. That's a snatch block. We've got a hitch receiver. This is a hitch receiver. It's basically a shackle, bow shackle with a thing that goes in your tow ball. Hitch pin goes through. You can put it that way or you can put it that way. It locks it in place, and that is a safer way of towing a vehicle than using a tow ball. Winch cable dampener. Okay, so this is a cable dampener. I've got a lot to say about these, but a couple of those. And then I've got my winch, which is a King's 12,000 pound Dominator winch. And then I've got these. So this is a winch controller, in, out. That plugs into the winch thing. That comes up and goes through your window, and you can use that in the cab. This is a remote controller. The cable comes off and that goes onto the plug. Cable comes off here, and then this turns into a Wi-Fi winch controller. I've never tried either of them in anger. I think I've tried that one, but I couldn't find this one when I needed it. So anyway, and I've got some gloves. Now the gloves are probably in one of the side pockets. Because I have a wire rope, I just use ordinary gloves just to protect my hands. There's probably a couple of pairs in there. There might even be a pair on the other end, I don't know. No, there's not. But that's what those are for. Now, if I had a wire rope winch, I'd need armoured gloves, but I don't have a wire rope winch. So let's go through these one at a time. So the tree trunk protectors. Let's just shift the snatch strap. Tree trunk, these are the widest of the straps because obviously if it goes around a tree trunk, it needs to protect the tree trunk and you don't want it digging in or damaging the bark. So it's nice and wide. Designed to spread the load, they're exactly what it says on the tin. Why have I got my headphones on? I've just been making a phone call. Just had a phone call to the vets. My dog's in it today, he's getting desexed, and he's having 2 canine teeth out. His milk teeth didn't come out with the other teeth underneath them, so they're called, after 6 months, they get called retained, and they weren't coming out at all, so he's had to have them surgically removed. So he's in recovery at the moment. We're picking him up about 5:20 in the car. All right, why do we have 2 of these? Well, I'll tell you. If you're doing a sideways pull, you need to attach that to another tree, and the second one to another tree, and then you can pull with both of them against trees. Or if you've got a big tree, you can use 2 straps together to get around all the way around the tree, because some trees are too big for these straps. I mean, you think that's a long strap, but when it goes around a tree, it ain't that long. Trust me, put it around a big tree and it won't go around. So you can fasten 2 together and have them both together going around a big tree, or you can use it on 2 trees to do a sideways pull or a double snatch. The winch extension strap, the purple one, which I've moved over here. This is the purple one. This is exactly what it says on the tin. It's a winch extension strap. It extends the winch cable by 10 meters. So basically it's an extension to a tow rope, if you like. Snatch strap, so this white one. This is almost the widest strap, but it's not quite. Now these are designed to stretch. They stretch about 30% of their length, maybe 20% of their length. And then the built up energy in the strap pulls the vehicle out of the bog or wherever it's stuck. Now these are used as a last resort. When everything else has failed, you go to the snatch strap. They are the most dangerous item in any recovery arsenal. They can snap, they come under a huge amount of strain, which is why they have a life of about 10 pulls. Mine's never been used, so that's good. Now, soft bow or D shackles. Well, those are bow shackles. I'm going to put a couple of pictures up, show you a D shackle, show you a bow shackle, show you a couple of soft shackles. But I've shown you them all. Originally, all we had were bow and D shackles. Fortunately, they're made from cast steel. Well, they're made from steel, and that makes them heavy. They're about 1 kilogram each. So if you've got 2 or 3 of them, that's a lot of weight. Whereas a soft shackle, you can get maybe 10 of those, 2 equivalent of 1 of those. They're really lightweight. Probably stronger as well. Well, maybe not quite as strong, but not far off. So the donut is in this bag, and the snatch block I've shown you already. But this is a donut. Now I have used this. This is a George 8614088 patented load, 10,000 kilograms on the rope diameter of 10 to 14 mil. So basically what happens is that either goes on one of these, but basically it goes on a soft shackle. It won't fit on one of those, in fact, so I'd have to put it on through the end. But you can do that. Just bear with me a second while I get this fitted in here. So the idea is that the less metal you can use, the less there is to fly off and hit somebody. But basically that there does the same job as the snatch block. If you use a soft shackle, it's even lighter. So you've got a piece of aluminium and a piece of Dyneema rope. Don't even weigh 1/4 kilogram together. Whereas one of those weighs 1 kilogram, the other one weighs 1 kilogram, and the snatch block weighs 5 kilograms. So basically what you do is you stick that through there. You put that through this. It goes through there. And then you put your rope through, your ropes go through this. And then that would attach to a tree trunk protector or something like that. And the rope spins around on this, it turns around on there. So as you can see, things have improved a little bit over the years, but that's what a donut does. It replaces the snatch block, which weighs 5 kilograms. That's a lot of weight. This must weigh 200 grams, something like that. This doesn't even weigh 200 grams. 50 grams maybe. And so let's say 250 grams, quarter of a kilo, and we've got everything. Whereas if I had a snatch block and a shackle, it's going to be 6 kilos straight away. Right, the hitch receiver. This is a hitch receiver. This here is likely the most important piece of recovery equipment that is in your bag, because this will save lives. It protects people from tying tow balls, which we'll explain later. Hitch pins save lives as well as providing safe anchor points. The hitch fits in the tow ball hole and is held in the same place with the same type of pin. And then the winch dampener. I've shown you a winch dampener. Dampeners are designed to arrest a broken cable or other component. People fit with amazing safety consciousness, fit them. What they'll do is they'll fit that over, they'll put that as it is over the winch cable and say, "Ah, I've dampened it," but that ain't gonna work. It does help a little bit, but not a huge amount. So what they need to be, so each dampener has a Velcro to hold it together, but the inside of each dampener is a pocket, and that pocket is designed to be filled. There's another pocket at this side here, and they're designed to be filled with soil or sand. Now I've got some grip blasting sand in bottles. That's what I would put in there if I was going to use them as dampeners. Now I've got a little link to a video. I'll put the link in the description below. But basically it is a link to Seek Adventures channel. I don't think he actually produces videos anymore, but he has a winch dampener test video where he snaps winch ropes and shows you what happens when winch ropes snap. Just the rope, no metal parts or anything like that. So I would advise going and having a look at that. The two pictures I'm going to show you are of an ARB winch dampener, which has got nothing in it, and then there's a picture of Ronnie Dolphin filling up his dampener. So that's what you do. Watch the video on the link. I think it'll be a bit of an eye-opener for you. Now, winches. There are several types of winches, from hand-operated to 12-volt powered winches. Different braking strains and internal and external versions. Also, some winches have steel cables and some have rope. All winches have a safe working load. It doesn't matter. If it doesn't have a safe working load, don't buy the winch. Even if it's a hand-operated winch, don't buy it without a safe working load, because you've got no comeback if it breaks. If it drops a load, if it breaks and the car goes off down a hill, you've got no comeback if the winch is at fault, if you don't have a safe working load, because they'll just turn around and say, well, you bought it without a safe working load. Now I have a King Dominator 12,000 pound winch. It has never let me down. Never. Now it will, but it won't. It never has in the past. I've only ever used it once in anger, and it was my own fault. I was tired. I think you've seen the video where I explain how tired I was. It was 2 o'clock in the morning, got stuck on the slippery slope, slid into the bank, had to winch myself out. With a bad knee, I wasn't far out my operation. I'd had a Barney with a wife. I couldn't find anywhere to go. It turned out it was public holiday, so that was the problem. Now, what sort of winch do you go for? Well, it's up to you. You can go for an external winch. Most winches are internal to the bull bar. They have a fair lead. A fair lead is the part of the bull bar where the rope goes through to stop it chafing on the bull bar. Now, you can get aluminium fair leads. You can get roller fair leads. Roller fair leads are usually the ones that are used with steel rope. And rope fair leads are usually just nice rounded off aluminium ones. Okay, so I'm going to give you some real world examples. Now it depends what you're using the winch for, how often and what you will be pulling. For example, a boat winches a boat onto a trailer. It doesn't do a lot until the last few meters where it pulls the full weight of the boat plus the bilge water, and this is a trailer winch. Now that can be motored or it can be a hand winch, it can be either. A trailer winch may also be used for pulling vehicles onto a trailer. They are rolling, so they require some force but not that much. 4x4 winches are different to this. They are normally fitted into a bar and have a log plug-in controller. However, there are some differences. Alright, so I've shown you the trailer winch. Here's a picture of a King's Dominator 12,000 pound winch. That's what I have in my car, fitted into my bull bar. Now that winch cost me less than $300 and it has never let me down. These are manual winches. The first one here is a trailer winch. It's a hand operated trailer winch. We used to use these in the Air Force for winding up masts and things. We also used to use hand winches like these to wind up masts, etc, etc. Those are hand winches. Now the advantage of a hand winch is they're never going to break down. There's no electrical stuff, so they don't need power. You're not going to lose out on cable disconnections and bits and pieces like that. However, they do need to be operated manually. They can be slow. You've got to wind them back when you're finished. You can't just chuck them in your car. You've got to wind them up again. And manual winches are only as strong as a person operating them, even though they do have gearing, etc, etc. So winch controllers like this, as you can see, it's just a lot of cable. That plugs into the bar on the bull bar, it sticks through, and the winch controller will operate the winch. You can use enough cable on there to get it in through your driver's window. Personally, I have wired up the winch controller into my car. I've got 2 switches, and I've also got this. This cable will disconnect from the handset, like so, and then I can, if I can get the cable off, just bear with me a second. So now I've got a Wi-Fi handset. I can turn that on and off. That will work my winch, provided I have that plug stuck into the part of the winch on the car. So there you go. That's what you need. Now, what I might do is wrap this up separately. So normally that would plug in and it would work as a normal cabled winch controller. But when it's unplugged like this, you can only operate it as a Wi-Fi winch. Now, in this day and age, there's a lot of hardwired Wi-Fi winches. The only problem with a hardwired Wi-Fi winch is if it doesn't work. Now, I don't know how they'll work underwater. So if you were submerged, you'd have to have that winch controller mounted quite high up. And the last thing is safety gloves. Not essential for rope winches, but a must for wire cable winches. You get a broken strand of wire on a winch sticking out like that, it'll take your fingers off. So a good pair of gloves to protect your hands from abrasions and cuts when using a winch. With a wire rope winch, use specialist non-penetrating gloves similar to these. Now, I'm going to show you a picture here, but I'm going to tell you now, it's a picture of a guy holding a sharp knife with these gloves, blade and everything. Obviously they're armoured gloves, so they would protect you through the wire, etc. And if you've got rope winches, just a pair of ordinary gloves will do. Keep your fingers warm, stop them going numb, keep your hands clean, stop abrasions, stop slight cuts. Alright, so recovery techniques. Earlier I mentioned technically you should never perform a recovery with a tow ball. Well, this is not strictly true. Yes, you can, provided that the vehicle only has rolling resistance. It's not in a bog, it's not stuck on rocks or on an incline or anything like that. It just has rolling resistance. In that case, you can use the tow ball. Why are vehicle recoveries dangerous? To cut a long story short, equipment breaks and bits can break off. Your winch strap can snap, one of your straps here can snap, one of your hitch receiver, your snatch block, anything, the donut ring, any of those things can snap and go flying. But what you don't want to do is have something flying at you at speed. What we do with the winch recovery, with a winch dampener, is that if the rope snaps, it flies up and hits the vehicle in front or whatever it is you're pulling. If you were winching your car and it snapped, then it would fly up and hit the tree. Or if it snapped at the other end, it'd fly back and hit your car. The dampener is supposed to stop that. Now, people have died from being hit by straps and ropes. We don't want that to happen to anybody. It's happened a number of times. School children, lads, men, women, everybody. To cut a long story short, equipment breaks and bits can break off. This makes items like tow balls, lethal items that can fly through the windscreen and hit somebody in the face. Many people have been killed, hit and killed in such items, which is why we use the tow hitch receiver instead. I'm not going into any details here, but if you want facts, go to this page and the link will be in the description. It lists everybody who's died in Australia, only Australia, and you can click on them and you can go into stories and details. The one at the end, the one that's the feel-good factor, the one that they say, go and watch this, it's really entertaining, they're two guys that are up in the Northern Territories, four-wheel drive action or something it's called. And they interview this guy on a sheep station, a cattle station. And he was towing a tyre with a chain and a snatch strap, and it broke. It hit him, wrapped around his face, took half his face off. If you watch the video, you'll see the state he was in. It took them 14 hours to get him to a hospital because of the remoteness of where they were. They had to bring in a helicopter, fly him to an airport, and then airport him out to Darwin. And 14 hours later, the surgeons who saw him said they had never seen injuries so bad and such fractures on a living person, only ever seen them on dead people before. And if you looked at him, you wouldn't even know it happened. But when you looked at the pictures, horrendous. He was very, very lucky to survive. But that's from the chain wrapping around his head. Now, if you got hit in the face with a ball, there was a guy in America, got stuck in a four-wheel drive park in a bog. Called his friend, can he come and pull us out? His friend came, he had one of these big Super Duty things, and it had a tow hitch that had been dropped down on a drop-down thing at the back. They were pulling him out. The drop-down tow ball holder ripped like paper, shredded, came off, flew through the windscreen, hit the steering wheel, bounced into the guy's head, killed him instantly in front of his wife and daughter. Now, that is by the by, but his daughter, his wife, and his friend have to live with that for the rest of their lives. It must be a horrendous thing to happen. You know, the guy's dead. He didn't want to die, but at least he doesn't have to suffer the years and years and years of torment that that's going to bring. You don't want it to happen. Don't let it happen to you. Don't want to kill anybody. You don't want to do that to yourselves. You don't want it to happen to anybody. Trust me. Or their dog, or an animal, or a child, especially a child. Anyway, that's about it. The answer is be safe. Go out. Do your recoveries. Be safe. If you think it's not safe, it probably isn't. Don't do it. Simple as that. Don't use a tow ball to pull vehicles out of stuck. Use a hitch receiver like this, and you'll save your life. Now, I'll be working on my car again tomorrow. The reason I'm not working on it today is because I've got a tap to tap out for the helicoils, and I brought the too small a tap wrench. So I'm waiting for another one coming. It'll be here tomorrow, and then I'm going to work on the car, and then we should be putting it back together tomorrow. It should be nearly back together by the end of tomorrow if it's a nice day. If it's raining, then it'll be the day after. If it's raining that day, it'll be the day after that. Whichever day it's going to be, it'll be one of them. By the way, we've got to 1,000 subscribers. Thank you everybody for all your efforts. Just need to get the watch hours up now. What can I suggest? Put my video on, put your phone on silent, turn it upside down so you can't see it and go to sleep. Just leave the video playing. That'll get the watch hours up. If not, thanks anyway. See you on the next one. Bye now.